This is a very similar,
right.
very similar position to last week.
Very similar. So last week
Luke's back.
we did not
this
have
week,
Luke. He was MIA. Said he had plans or was tired or something.
Shocking fish on the
Working
White
the next
River.
day, yeah. That's what it was, yeah.
Were you shocking fish on the White River last Saturday? Or, I'm sorry, last Thursday?
I'm not sure where we were doing field work. I can't remember. I'm sure it was either out on the White River or one of the lakes down south. Yep.
Top secret.
One of the two. I don't know.
Marshall's back with more bottles than ever.
Oh yeah.
We almost got a full limit.
Here we go. We're going to have to get another cutout.
So last week we did we did the smooth Ambler line. We started with Big Level, and then we did Old Scout. So we compared the two of them last week. So the Old Scout and the Big Level that we don't have here. This week we have the Old Scout versus the Smooth Ambler Contradiction. Not the rye, just this one was bottled by Jordan, by the way. Out of batch number 377.
There you go.
So
It's probably my best work, honestly, to date.
So we're gonna start off with Old Scout. Give it a raw dog. I'm gonna go ahead and pour my Karen up. Just a little. I don't want to
Speakeasy
get drunk.
Karens, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but I was on the Bourbon Trail this past weekend
I saw that.
and sent some messages to these guys that what I was drinking out of at Heaven Hill didn't quite live up to what I'm used to with the Speakeasy Karen. So,
Liked it more, liked it less.
liked it way less. I asked him where the styrofoam was, babe.
I
I said, hey, so they got all these premium whiskeys lined up in front of us, and I said, and they had a little dropper with water, you know, you got the whole experience.
You had to raw dog it.
And I was like, can a brother get the bottle? And can a brother get some styrofoam? Because I don't know if you've seen our channel. He was he was a little taken back by that,
don't know where you're from, but where I'm from.
I'm from
which
Fort.
isn't far from here.
Now, just going back to nose, I enjoy it a whole lot more on the bottle.
I do. Again, we've had the conversation. Watch a previous episode. To me, it's 100 times better out of the bottle than the glass.
And does the shape of the bottle have anything to do with that?
I guess it could if you're different bottles. They're all generally the same shape where they have a longer neck, but
Well, typically with a bottle that's been poured out of, you're going to get that evaporation right around the neck here, so you're going to get a concentration of the sugars and the caramels and the smells right there. So if it's a new bottle, maybe not, but if you pop one that has been poured out of, then absolutely.
and also like this bottle's kind of elongated and taller. The Blanton's bottle is much more squatted. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that could play. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to do a raw dog special at some point.
Raw dog special. That was our first episode that never made it to YouTube.
The old RDS.
So smell the sweetness,
It's
and now compare side to side with out of your glass. And
so much
it's,
sweeter coming out of the bottle.
It's night and day different. You still get some sweet notes, you get some caramel notes, but it almost slaps you in the nose.
Yeah,
off
you
the
get
bottom.
way more sweetness right out of the bottle.
Yeah, definitely. Strong on the hints of alcohol.
Yeah. I mean, it still smells good,
No, it doesn't smell. It's not like everything. It doesn't smell terrible.
but yes, it does have a.
It just
It,
like you
there
said,
is a little
slaps you.
nose burn right there.
Slaps you
That's
a
where you're
little bit.
supposed to smell with your mouth open. Oh, so much better out of the bottle, not the glass.
Oh, I didn't even.
I will
take
say, pro tip though, on mouth open while.
I didn't even take the RD. I didn't swig it yet.
So should you?
There you go.
According to our resident professional here.
No, they say left, right, or right, left, but keep your mouth partially. Smell it with your mouth closed,
And, it's
and then
straight
smell it
alcohol.
with your mouth slightly agape.
Okay.
All right. All right.
I said that on purpose because I knew I'd be made fun of. That's a true. I really did say that on purpose.
But it does make a subtle difference. You get less alcohol burn if you smell with your mouth slightly open.
I'm going back with my last week. I enjoy the raw dog, but I'm getting a lot more sweeter notes out of the Speakeasy Karen. Which, does that make me like it more? I don't know.
Right.
I do enjoy it out of the Karen though.
I get sweet on the nose out of this bottle. I get a leathery taste on the palate, which I'm not knocking that. I like that. But out of this glass, I get something totally different. Sorry, not sorry.
Earthy? No. Grasses? No.
Nutty.
I get leathery when I
Leather?
swig from the bottle.
Leather and tobacco.
Is this microphone hooked up to camera A?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna get damn good audio.
Damn
tonight.
good audio out of
We
this.
got good levels?
Look
We
at
good?
us moving up. Like we're gonna start having to have scripts and shit. Like
No scripts. We're gonna have teleprompters.
Teleprompter.
that works also.
It just puts shit
Cue
up there
card.
that I would
Let's keep it old school.
say.
Saturday Night Live still uses the handwritten cue cards. We could have Stacy there just flipping through cue cards.
What we need is a
Just
tech man
throw 'em
to
up in
look
the
up
ground.
anything on
They're
demand,
not
just like
following.
old Jamie Vernon on Joe Rogan.
Yep. We need a best boy. We need a gaffer. We have to get an electrician.
Director of photography, which we already have one of those.
We've got
Catering.
I can't with this Karen on the Smooth Ambler. I'm sorry.
Editor in chief.
So much
Yeah.
more alcohol. So much more.
You don't like it, Karen?
I don't, and that was I think that was my
That was your-
consensus
that was
from
your-
the
that was your
previous.
Cody's.
Yeah.
We were the only
Yeah.
ones that liked it out.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of it out of the Karen.
See?
You're a raw dog too, Luke?
Yeah.
I like the raw dog. Yeah, the raw
The raw
dog.
dog's great.
I get better sweetness right out of the gate.
And especially for a novice, you're gonna gravitate towards the sweetness.
Well, sure.
What? No, I'm not. That's nothing to laugh about. I'm saying.
And it wasn't. I was laughing at these two going,
Oh.
yeah, like it out of the glass,
Yeah.
and then yes. But that's the beauty of it is subjective. I can't tell you what you like. You know, I mean, if you like that, by all means, drink it.
That's good.
You can
What's
just be
what's the
make.
proof on that guy?
You could just be making shit up right now.
86?
No,
Now,
it's
I will
full
say,
on hotter
I will say,
99.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's gotta be hotter than
Hotter.
86 because the 86 in my glass
So
here
now-
is not anywhere near that.
Now the contradiction.
It wants to be a bottle.
Doing
Just
a little
couldn't make it.
cross reference right there. The 86.
Yeah. Little Old Forester in the glass here
Yeah.
tonight. So
well, OFO 80, Old Forester 86.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm
Hashtag
getting the
Jackie's
sweetness, not as much as the Old Scout, out of the raw dog. I get almost that almond extract, that cherry-ish note to it,
Amaretto-ish.
amaretto-ish.
See what you're saying with like
and a
that
little bit of
leathery
tobacco, not leather though. But that's just out of the raw dog.
I was getting a little leathery out of the raw dog here.
It's stupid smooth.
I will tell you-
straight out of the bottle though. There you go. You doing the Orleans, Karen?
To me, no. To me, the finish on that Old Scout out of that Karen is like super long and hot. Like I still feel it.
Yes.
I still
My mouth is still.
damn.
It
Like
lingers.
down the throat,
Yeah.
like I still really feel that finish
So,
big time.
Is this theirs or was this still MGP?
Mm-mm.
Old Scout?
This one is probably all theirs.
Okay.
Bottled by. No, it's not. I don't know. Distilled in Indiana, Lawrenceburg.
So
So it's
that's-
MGP.
What about the Contradiction? Is that
This may be the first one that was all theirs. We've had this conversation a bunch. Blended from whiskeys distilled in West Virginia, Tennessee, and Indiana. So this is a blend. So this is some of theirs, some of MGP's, and if it's Tennessee, probably Dickel.
Probably.
okay? Where is it bottled?
At West Virginia at the Smooth Ambler. Smooth Ambler is based in West Virginia.
Gotcha.
But this is a combination of their stuff, Tennessee stuff, which is probably Dickel, Indiana, which is MGP for sure.
Which
And
I'm
this
a
one?
Dickel fan. That's
I'm
Oh,
enjoying.
dude.
Get you a pour and a snort there. So this one.
A purr and a snort.
A pour and a snort there.
Okay.
I enjoy this
He
one
knows
more
this sucker.
out of the Karen than the bottle on the taste.
on the taste.
What is it every Thursday night? Where are all these?
I was say,
buses
where are all
going?
these buses coming from and going? They were here last Thursday.
Same time.
Same time.
Actually, just coming
I
by to get a
enjoy the
glimpse
nose
of the
better.
action over here.
I think It's a little louder on the alcohol on the nose here, but it's more sweet out of the glass.
So you don't get that alcohol bite like you got out of the.
You get a little sting on the nose, but the taste to me is better
out
out of here.
No, I haven't.
They're both fantastic, but I enjoy the Karen a little bit more than the bottle.
That means we'll probably like it out of the bottle.
Yeah, that's what I had to guess too.
I got some sweet corn on that.
Like I said, there's a little bit of
Sweet corn on the taste on that out of the bottle. I don't know what's going on with this Karen here. And it is CAREN, right? It's not.
Yes, it's not KAR.
Yeah.
No, Karen's the one that wants to see the manager.
Yeah.
Karen's the one to drink bourbon.
Did you guys have any Karens come in tonight?
We did.
You did?
We really
Oh,
did.
you had someone that said, "Hey, I need to talk to somebody about
she
this
was just she was
shitty
hateful
pizza."
to everybody.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, you can't please everybody.
Life's too short to be bitter. Be
I
nice
think
to everyone.
she enjoyed her food, but her just personality really wasn't matching with our personality.
Abrasive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I,
we'll talk
I
about
get
her
a lot
later
of
when the
sweetness out of the
cameras
bottle.
roll.
It is, but put it in the Karen.
I feel like we
Louder.
need to give a shout out to
Tobacco.
our sick homie who's on the other side of town, quarantined.
Toby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because Sam had the...
The Rona.
But he didn't, I don't think.
No, he's symptom free.
Yeah, okay.
And Micah's been like, stay away. He's been at his grandparents'.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see, I'm out of the
I
loop
get a lot
on
more
that.
sweetness out of the bottle.
Yeah.
See?
Okay, I'm getting a, out of the Karen, I'm getting some bready, is that a word?
So
I
that'd
think
be
you just
the-
made that up.
I'm
the
getting
grain?
some
Yeah.
breadish,
Wheat.
Now, I don't know
You
if
trying
I
to
got
say
tobacco
British?
out of the bottle,
Yeah.
or if it was your cigar.
some
but
breadish, no,
I get a
some
little tobacco out of the
bread-ish,
bottle.
heavy on the ish, breadish.
And that's what I got. I got tobacco
You got
on
tobacco
the nose.
on
yes.
the nose.
Do
Okay.
you guys feel like the peanut gallery's over there talking about us?
Well, either that or they're
We'll find out when
Instagram or
this mic
Facebook
picks it up.
living us. One of the two.
See, I'm getting more out of the Karen. It's probably my allergies. I'm not getting much out of the bottle.
No, the bottle was real subtle to me. I
Very
enjoyed the
subtle.
flavors of it, but it didn't have any alcohol burn. It was
I
all
get an alcohol
nose.
burn out of the Karen.
I don't.
Yes, I do too, but I get a louder nose on the sweets, on that.
Out of the
that-
Karen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
you
see
do
that.
get that alcohol burn, but the smell in this one is real subtle out of the
Out
bottle.
of the bottle.
It's there, you can distinguish it, but it's really really soft.
Yeah,
I get a
I
nice
like the
little
nose.
yeastiness out of here.
I get a little.
This is like unbaked bread.
There's a little anise in there too.
Dope.
Ooh,
licorice.
is it anise or anise?
Anise. It's anise. I get a little anise in this
Star
thing.
anise.
I'm gonna have to say, I hate to go against Marshall, but I think I enjoy it more out of the Karen. To me, I'm getting a lot more flavor out of this. It's a little sweeter. It's not as hot, for lack of.
Yeah.
I feel like or not the masses, but I feel like the whiskey geeks get mad when you use terms like smooth, hot.
I can see that.
Yeah.
But
But hey,
Yeah.
we are what we are.
Little tobacco. I get more tobacco out of the bottle.
We're just a bunch of rednecks trying to drink some bourbon.
Yeah.
All I did was I just dropped an ice cube in there. Someone's gonna crucify me for doing
No,
that.
they won't.
Pinky up.
If they-
SpongeBob.
Now that killed the alcohol.
Well,
It
yeah,
will,
it
it will,
will,
yeah.
like crazy. Give me an ice cube. Throw me one in there.
I think I like this better out of the Karen.
There'll be one
actually.
in there too, babe.
Oh,
That's good.
I'll take it off the table.
it might have.
And listen,
might have a
let me
little
preface
Diet
this
Coke
by
with it.
saying when we say ice cubes, this is hardly. I mean, it's the
It's a
equivalent of like
sliver.
4 drops of
Yeah,
water.
it's about
Yeah.
4 drops
It's
of
not
water.
even a.
It's very to scale for
try
what
it and
we're.
see the difference
right there.
between a little bit of ice in your glass. Pitch an ice
Did you
cube
put
his
one
way.
in Luke's?
And just see what a few drops of water does to a bourbon. It
It's
changes
crazy.
it immensely.
Let it dilute.
And
for
I
just a
even
second.
swore, like on our other videos, I'm never putting ice in it. I'm never putting ice
No.
in it. And here we are
And
tonight.
here you are putting ice in it, babe.
I'm not opposed to putting ice.
I'm
In
not
it.
opposed to
knows
putting a lot of things in a lot of other
That's
things.
exactly right.
Yeah. See what we mean?
Wow.
Makes a difference. Huh?
What?
Makes a big difference.
Take that how you will. The peanut gallery's
Go
laughing.
with it where you want to go.
They got the giggles.
I think one of them's as red as that bandana around her head.
Blushing.
So, coming into this tasting, I was hands down Contradiction.
Yeah, I'm leaning more Old Scout right now.
And is this our third bottle? So we did Old
Yeah.
Scout, we did
Yeah.
the wheat.
Yeah,
which
this
was-
is the third. So Old Scout was the second. Yeah.
I'm going to have to, right now I'm going equal playing field. I
I
I
wouldn't kick either one of them out of bed for eating crackers.
No, but my choice over all three of them right now. And when I first tried it, when I first got them in, Old Scout was the worst to me. Right now, it's slightly above the other
What
two.
is the proof on the Contradiction?
92?
It says 92.
Yeah.
So, which is why I feel I definitely could tell that just on
So
the nose and
is there
on
an
the
age
finish.
statement? Do we know the ages of these?
we don't.
Okay.
They've got to be fairly green, I would.
But it's just weird because the 92 proof, even with an ice cube in it, seems so much hot. And I drink a lot of high proof stuff. Like I like cask strength over pretty well anything else. That seems so hot to me
This does?
for a 92 proof. And it could be, listen, it could be what I ate today. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying
What'd you have
Honestly.
today?
I didn't have
Jalapenos.
I didn't have anything until about an hour and a half ago. I had the first thing I've had in all day. And it was a mushroom Swiss burger from the Paoli Green Acres Country Club.
Green Acres.
It was actually really good. Very good.
Fries?
I did have, fries. Yeah, steak fries. So, but I don't know. It's just, it's hotter to me than a 92 should be.
Well, that's what I thought about that. I thought the 99 on that thing rips like almost like a Booker's.
So,
Yeah.
when we got our little
Which
gift
is way
earlier
hotter
of
than
the,
99.
the,
Way
the
hotter.
Habana Club, I think we need to do A, B like that so we don't know what they are and just pick this one is my favorite, this one is my favorite.
Kind of like the blind.
yeah, a little blind taste.
I agree, and people should be able to bring their own bottles, and we do, whatever.
Just
And maybe throw some crazy stuff in
Well,
Yeah.
we just like with this wrap up, we could do a excuse me, I got a hiccup. We could do a blind of the lineup, just a little bit, not anything to get us crazy, but controlled. And then, okay, this is our lineup, and then at the end throw in that crazy curveball. Say, okay, now we're gonna bring out this, and this is kind of like what we did in the
Old Forester.
Old Forester.
Yeah.
But not as long. That one took a while. We got a little inebriated too.
I missed that
it
one.
was a journey.
Well,
I
but
didn't
that
have
whole
a bottle
Whiskey
for
Row
that.
series, I mean, hell, that's five whiskeys in
Plus
itself.
the Statesman.
And then if you
the-
want to put in the Statesman and the 86 and the 100 proof,
And
which
the-
I don't
and
even
the
think
Spice
you
Jam.
did that.
We did.
And then I had that single barrel Spice Jam, so it's like, man, you're freaking
We had a
9
we had a
whiskeys
lineup.
deep
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't do that. I mean, you can, I guess.
can.
But
We'd be sleeping
You
on
certainly
the floor.
can.
Nah, we made it home.
But I mean, yeah, that's a lot, and I don't know. I'm an
But
old
I mean,
forest.
in this lineup, you're at 4 bottles, so it'd be easier to do without being potentially 5.
I've got the 107.
Because
I'm bringing.
we still have the Smooth Ambler Rye to against the Smooth the
Sample
Contradiction
against that
Rye
against-
against the Contradiction next, and then that's the end of what we have in house.
And then I've got a 107
Right.
single barrel. That's supposedly some sort of freaking honey barrel. I don't know. I've only heard it. We may open it and be like, Drano, babe.
But like I said, to wrap up, I went in with the mindset of Contradiction was that's my go-to. I'm second guessing that on the Old Scout now. Even the higher proof, that doesn't turn me away. I like the sweetness. It has a character. It's tobacco. You got leather on it. I got the tobacco, not the leather, but I do like the Old Scout. Of the two, if it was the last bottle on earth and I had to pick between those two, I'd pick Old Scout.
I would too.
I think I'm in agreement with
And I would raw dog it.
Yeah.
Either one. All raw dog. I liked it out of the Karen. Usually I don't like it out of the Karen. I do.
What do you think, young bud?
I like the raw dog on this one, but I think between
Mix her up here a little bit.
because like out of the Karen on that one, I felt like way too much heat on it for what it is.
Please tell us you love the Contradiction. Please tell us.
I think if I'm balancing out, if I have to choose, one form, I'm gonna take Old Scout and the raw dog. But like,
If
on
you're
average,
sipping it in a
on
glass at
average,
your house,
I'm taking the Contradiction.
with a little bit of ice in it.
There we go.
Put
There you
an
go.
ice cube
The
in it.
ice was nice. It did tame it down.
Pour a little bit of that in your Karen and grab an ice cube from Marshall. That way you have a 1-to-1 comparison.
Because
Oh, shit.
There, you're good.
That was a strong Coming in. There you go. Give her a little
Yep.
swirl.
Let her dilute a little bit.
I raw dogged some Blantons last night, okay? Because
I did too.
I not to get.
I went to the.
Well, we really were on the because we were
on the-
we
we
were
were on the
texting
same
about some
page.
other stuff anyway, like some other. I have a 16-year-old rye Canadian Club. Or I'm sorry, Crown Royal.
Crown Royal.
16-year-old Crown Royal rye that's supposed to be stupid good. And I only say that because of what I've seen and what people have reviewed it. Well, I saw it one day in the wild, and I'm like, I got to get this thing. Like, why not?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
So anyway, we were kind of talking about just, I don't even know how we got to talking about whiskey yesterday, but we did, and it came up, and blah, blah, blah. It was just funny because we were already in Communicata, and then I'm raw dogging Blanton's, and you're raw dogging Blanton's, and I made an old fashioned out of mine eventually. So I just grabbed a bottle and made an old fashioned.
I did about 4 raw dogs.
I'm done. You're good.
Yeah.
Go have that.
I was sitting there and
But I was
working
like,
out in
you
the
know-
garage. I was like, yeah, just have a pull blanket.
And here's the deal, not to get off on too much of a tangent, but like Blanton's is such a freaking buzzword in whiskey anymore. I was coming down I-65 yesterday, and I was probably between Scottsburg and Jeffersonville, and there's a billboard for Justin's House of Bourbon in downtown Louisville, which is insane. The greatest bourbon collection probably in the country under one roof. It's insane. Old stuff, and I'm talking pre-prohibition, 1800s type stuff. Insane. All the way up to you can buy new bottles there. Anyway, they can't legally use the Blantons with the label and everything,
Right.
but on the billboard, it's like Justin's House of Bourbon. And then here's clearly a Blanton's bottle because of the shape, but no label,
No
on
label
it.
on it.
And it's like, man, and everybody, Fred Minnick is using Blanton's to get clickbait. I mean, it's all clickbait. Like, everybody's using this, I saw a thing the other day, Evan Williams Bottled and Bond beat Blanton's in a blind by these guys that do these whiskey reviews on YouTube and blah, blah, blah. Regardless, everybody, whether you like it or it's good or it's bad or whatever, everybody uses Blanton's
It's a keystone. It's a
get-
cornerstone, yes.
to get either attention or whatever it is. And it's like, man, I've been drinking this since I was, like, no kidding, probably 20, not even 21. And so that's what I'm just going to raw dog we're making old fashioned with. I've just kind of always had it around.
I mean, we used to give it away to the golfers in gift boxes at the die course.
Right.
When you come to play around a golf, that was like.
It was always good. It wasn't like this crazy hard thing to find. You could call like 2 or 3 stores and find a bottle. But anyway, I'm making this yesterday. I raw dogged some, and I'm like, man, this is getting because my bottom line is it gets such a bad rap from all these everybody that you see review.
Right.
Well, Evan Williams is better than that. It's all hype. It's this, it's that, and I raw dogged it last night, and I'm like, this is pretty fucking good.
It's good.
It's
so,
damn good bourbon.
So I don't discredit any distillery, whether it's Evan Williams or anybody, for the simple fact of you're taking a distilled white liquor and you're putting it in a barrel, hoping it's going to turn out this way, and it may go sideways and turn out this way. And it may be fantastic when it comes out. It may be horrible when it comes out. But it's up to the barrel. It's up to the wood to dip the char. You can put as much science as you want into it, but time, atmospheric pressure, all the conditions that play into that wood breathing the bourbon in and out is what's going to make it taste
What
like it
makes
does.
And you're hoping that you get enough to put out another batch of this or
Yes.
that or the other thing. But guess what? If you don't and it's not quite as good, you slap another label on that
Yeah,
motherfucker
it
and call it
still
something
goes
Call
else.
it something else.
Yeah.
Call it whatever, But
Four Roses only uses 2 mash bills. They have 10 recipes
10
because they
recipes.
use different yeast, but they only use 2 mash bills.
Yep.
And so it's like, some of the shit, you can have a Four Roses single barrel that will blow your mind. It's so good. And depending on the recipe. And so they have 10 different recipes, only 2 different mash bills, if that makes any sense. But we should do a Four Roses thing, and we'll get more into that at some point. But it's amazing what you can do with the same grains in a different yeast, or
Yeah. And I know that
yeast, different cask house, wherever, different level in the house.
Well,
where
any
it sets.
beer brewer knows for sure that the yeast plays a big part of the flavor characteristic of the beer.
Sure.
It would make it only makes sense that it would also create a flavor characteristic in a liquor.
I know you're not every time I bring up Spirits of French Lick, you kind of snub your nose a little
And
bit.
it's not that. It's just not for me. I don't believe the hype.
I love the Maddie. I'm not so sold on the Lee Sinclair being the best bourbon outside of Kentucky. Although I don't drink a lot of bourbon made outside of Kentucky
Don't make it a habit.
I don't, but he only uses Indiana yeast strains.
Right.
And which I think is pretty
that's
freaking
pretty
cool.
cool.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
pretty cool.
And I don't discredit the craft at all, and I don't discredit them at all. To me, that is, it's not. In my mind, it's not what it's hyped up to be. It's not the flavor profile that I like to drink. So, therefore, it's not crazy to me.
It's probably the oats.
Maybe, it probably is the oat. Absolutely.
Good chance of it.
It's a 4 grain. The 4th grain's the oats. It's probably the oats. But I don't know. I'm not your doctor. I can't say.
You're not a doctor?
What?
I'm not his doctor.
Okay.
I'm a lot of people's doctor. I'm just not Cody's doctor.
That's right. That's right.
Overall,
They're
Smooth
both
Ambler,
a fantastic
phenomenal
bourbon.
bourbons.
Yes,
Yeah, both good.
I'm going with Old Scout.
And they will both get the job done, whether you want to enjoy a glass or whether you want to shoot 6 ounces and get you to point B. Both of them are going to be good, and the price point for them is fantastic.
let's raw dog them one more time.
All right, let's roll.
I mean, really, for a $50 bottle of
Old
bourbon,
Scout.
a sub 50,
great.
you can't beat it.
I
That one has
I would
stamps
gladly
on the
take
bottom.
this to a dinner party and not be ashamed.
No,
Yeah.
no. This is going to be so. Old Scout's going to cost you
$39?
probably $35 at the liquor store,
Ambler.
and all day long.
Much better. On the raw dog.
Oh, and the raw dog for sure.
Goes away quickly.
Yep,
It's
goes
nice,
away.
sweet.
And I don't want to keep kicking a dead horse, but
I
is
just get a
it
lot more
because
flavor
that's
off that
is it
one.
because that's straight MGP and this is a blend?
I don't know.
No, because that, like I said, it's up to the barrel.
I'm getting
Right,
more complex flavors.
I
This
get
is
a lot
this
more
is up to
complex.
3 barrels. That's up to 1.
That's up to you. That's exactly right. Speaking
Now,
of
just there, that one is sweeter versus this one.
Completely opposite for me.
completely opposite for me too.
I get more like you would assume a rye spice out of this, which would be a barrel.
Right.
But I get more.
I get the rye
I
spice
get
out of
more
this, but
spice
this
out of
one's
this
also sweeter. I think this one's sweeter to me than this
I
one.
think
But I do get the rye. out of
I'd
that.
have to go Old
And
Scout
maybe it's-
over
maybe it's
Contradiction.
Is there even any rye in it? Well, you don't see the mash bill on
Mash
it, but
bills.
But for the money, buy you some Smooth Ambler,
Yeah.
buy you Old Scout, Big Level Contradiction. So
you
so
don't-
far, those of what we've done. We have one more to do, which would be the Contradiction rye.
2 more.
Well, 2
and
more.
I'll
2
bring
more.
mine.
Yeah.
I'll bring that single barrel in.
But for the money, you cannot beat it. That is a fantastic bourbon
No,
for the
it-
money.
And if you don't want to buy a bottle, by all means, come down and Speakeasy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
carry
we have it. You can try it before you buy it.
I think that's the whole
Try it
point
neat.
of this whole
Try it
thing.
in a speakeasy
I'm
old
with the
fashioned.
contradiction.
We're not trying to look for boosting the sales here to Speakeasy, but we do want to give you a layman's term on what these taste like. It's not going to be anybody else hyping it up, trying to get sales because I paid you so much. We don't get any money. We don't get any freebies.
They barely get anything, period.
We
That's true that.
I mean, that's the true story. Like,
we want to do an honest review on these bourbons, and that's
coming
all
from a
looking to do.
layman's standpoint. Like,
Yeah.
granted,
So
I've read some stuff on bourbon, but
this
I'm
is our expert, in-house expert.
I'm the in-house expert. Come on. Jesus, I mean that's like Marshall is legit like an expert in golf. Okay, I'm like an expert in snow cones. I will
Past
attest to
expert
that.
in golf. Past
Yeah,
expert.
but you still know what you're talking. You could still give a lesson.
I could.
I will
can sell
kind
you a
of
car and give you
slowly
a lesson.
guide you through some bourbon shit.
That's
We're going
not
to take the
right.
scenic route because I'm really
Maybe we're not
long-winded,
driving
but
skills, by the way.
you'll
We
know
can fix
more
that.
about bourbon than you did when we started. I can just say that. It may
Big
take
game.
us 4 days to get
And I'm
there,
on the green. I play ping pong.
but I mean,
Just tapping it.
an expert's hardly like.
Yeah.
There are so many people out there that are just absolute bourbon nerds that are,
Oh, yeah.
and I would be that way if that's all I had to do. Don't get me wrong. If I didn't have shit else to
If I
do,
didn't have shit else to do and all I could do is
read,
make
read,
videos,
read, taste, taste,
Yeah.
taste. Like, absolutely, I'd be a nerd in it. But I just, I do it when I can.
So we got a sensory training kit in this week.
I'm gonna
And
have to partake
It's
in
fun.
that, I guess.
It really is fun.
I don't agree with some of the senses though. I kind of get.
And I
rid of-
tried a few, if you're still talking about the same
yes,
one.
Yes. I get some of the subtleties of some, but and it's subjective in the form of that's not what I think X would smell like. It's not
Yes.
a taste; it's just a smell.
It's just a
And
smell.
I think that's it. You're subjective.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think for the consensus of most of the people that smell bourbon, taste bourbon,
Yes.
okay, we've got a set standard. This is what tobacco is supposed to smell like for the bourbon. Not
Yeah.
necessarily we go out to the Amish to the leather shop.
Right.
The smell's going to be 100% different.
Like,
Yes.
we want to bottle that. Let's make our own sensory kit.
Yeah.
Which
Let's have
yes,
Ezra Glick squeeze some leather juice
That's
Yeah.
right.
into an eyedropper, bottle that shit, and send
But-
it to people and be like, this is what
This
leather
is what
smells like,
real
dog.
leather smells like,
And
dog.
I mean, I get that, but my only thing with that is you could potentially be training somebody to smell something.
So
Okay,
strong.
yes, this smells like this. No, it doesn't. Go smell that and tell me it smells like that. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Which I agree with that too. But,
Yeah. But
and
it's
I
a
don't know if
familiarity.
that's the case, but in my mind, that's how I'm justifying their smells.
Right.
So to them, okay, this is a grassy note that I'm getting.
And
an
I
earthy
get
note,
that grassy, and I kind of get
Yes.
the earthy. The earthy's a little questionable on me, but
or is it
We'll
one of
have
those
to
things?
partake in
There's,
There's a
thing.
couple that, it's in there, I
Oh,
believe.
I know.
There are a couple that are just like, we're singeing my own hairs. There's a couple that it's like, wow, that is like whatever I thought was juicy fruit. Well, it was a fruit, don't get
Yes.
me wrong, but it was like, I didn't know there was that fruit in juicy fruit. Or, I mean, there's this
Right,
weird
right.
stuff like that. It's like, man, that's. Let me ask you this while we're on the same subject, talking about smells being subjective. Like, the way I smell leather may not be the same way you smell leather.
Right.
Have you ever thought about this, and bear with us, that we don't all see color the same way? Now, this is going down a wormhole.
100%.
That you're trained as a kid to be like, well, that's green. And, well, who says? Like, I mean, I may see that as blue, but
Yes.
I'm told to be, I've been trained or told to say that's, it's something that will really, like, if you're in the right mindset, we'll read between the lines here, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, laying on a blanket, staring at the stars, and you start having conversations like this,
Yes.
it's like,
what
never thought of
what
that.
was that Cher movie, The Mask?
Rocky Dennis story.
Yeah. So when he goes in and he's explaining to his girlfriend that is blind, and he gives her a hot potato, and he said, "This is red," and then he gives her some. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how subjective it could be for anything.
I mean, it's just like music.
Yeah.
How you hear.
and that's a really easy one to understand.
Yes.
But color is messed up for people to understand because it's like, I know that shirt's blue, but what if you have always seen that shirt the way I see yours as being orange?
What if
Right.
that's blue and that's green?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
But your mind has just been told that I'm telling you, it gets
Yeah.
And I don't mean we're talking about bourbon here, but I'm just saying
You're talking.
we're talking
about
senses. We're talking about senses.
That all
So we're
goes
living in
back
a
to
simulation. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
but that all goes back to this is subjective. If you like it because it tastes like caramel to you, by all means drink it. If you like it, don't worry about what anybody else thinks. If you do enjoy it, by all means drink it.
And with bourbon, that's why everyone ends up with 20 or 30 or 50 bottles on the shelf, because you don't know until you try it. And
that's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing.
You do not know until you try it, because I've read a bunch of reviews. It's like, this is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome, and you try it and you're like,
oh, it's not really.
You can read that bourbon XYZ is the absolute shit, but you may put it to your lips and go, I'd rather have fucking George Dickel 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, and it just be trash. So, but that's
give me
why,
some Jim Beam.
Yeah, give me some
Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
I'll never hear those words come out of his mouth.
No, definitely not on the Jack Daniels side. No offense, but
listen,
I'm just not a fan.
You guys don't know it, or maybe Jack Daniels, not the black, not the JD everybody knows and loves. Their other expressions, like these heritage bottles, the barrel,
absolutely
unbelievable,
unbelievable,
and you can't find them. They aren't even really that allocated, but you cannot find them because they're so freaking good, dude. Like, not the black, but okay, how can it not be good? You've been doing it longer than anyone,
right?
You got the oldest damn distiller. Well, I don't know. Beam may be older. Beam's like a 1770 some bullshit, whatever. I don't know. It's a piss and mash at this point. But like, you can't have not been doing it that long and it not be good.
It's flavor profile.
You know,
I prefer Beam over Jack Daniels.
But the game at this point in time is what he's saying. I mean, the game is here. This is what we make. This is what we've always made, and it's still good. Yeah.
Because I promise you, if you guys probably have Jack Daniels here, right? Just you don't have Jack Daniels.
Not a bottle.
No Jim Beam, no Jack Daniels.
No Jim Beam.
But honestly,
we don't have Makers.
But Makers is not.
Do we? I don't think we do.
We do.
Makers is really not.
We have Maker's Mark. No.
Makers is a pretty good weeded bourbon.
It is.
Yeah.
What I was thinking.
Makers is absolutely it's weeded.
And what I was thinking was Knob Creek. We don't have Knob Creek.
Knob Creek's phenomenal.
Knob Creek 9 years.
And I love Knob Creek. It's a good bourbon. It's a good
Knob
whiskey.
Creek store picks are the best. They're the best kept secret in bourbon.
100%.
Go get you a Knob Creek store pick that's 12 years old, and you'll get it for $45. It will blow shit out of the water.
Just straight up, go to the liquor store and find the first bottle of Knob Creek, and it is fantastic.
I'm saying get a store pick. Go get a Knob Creek store pick for $45.
Yep.
It's 12 years old, and it's fucking phenomenal. It's a single barrel store pick or whatever. I've got like 5 of them.
Like Big Red will do a store pick.
Yeah,
I have a Big Red Knob Creek store pick that will knock your fucking shoes off, dude. It's so good, and it's like $40.
Yep.
Shit that they say is even better than that, $140. No, get the fuck out of here. Knob Creek is good, man. That's a great Beam product.
I don't discredit it at all.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. That's why I like it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to
But I was just at Beam this weekend. They're closed, unfortunately, due to some renovations. They're building a nice old big new experience, but
Jameson was there.
Yeah.
J-Mo, is he working down there?
He was.
Yeah, probably is. But man, Daniels and Beam do some pretty Jack Daniels outside of their black label. That's a Jack and Coke.
Right. That's their well drink.
But outside of that, their other Jack Daniels expressions, the single barrel proof rye, single barrel proof just straight bourbon, and they do a heritage barrel thing like in the same decanter series. That's awesome. Dude, they're good. They're good. And they're trying real hard not to be a bourbon. They've spent a lot of money to be a Tennessee whiskey. Because they're filtered through charcoal, which doesn't not make them a bourbon. But anyway, it's killer. Like, you just have to look for the right expressions. The single barrels, not so much the black, not so much the Jim Beam white label.
Right.
The Jim Beam, if you like a double oaked, you can go get the Jim Beam double oaked for friggin' $20, and it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It is.
It's the. I don't.
It's a
It's
perception.
just marketed.
It's
to-
a stigma.
It's
Yes,
a perception,
yes.
a
Jim-
stigma.
Jim Beam,
What- and the stigma's created
Yes.
by the market.
Yes.
Yes.
and that's why I'm like,
Everyone tells you Jim Beam or Jack Daniel or
you're gonna
just-
have some Skinnerd playing in the background.
Yeah.
You know what we're gonna do? I swear to God, we're gonna do
We're
this.
gonna throw it
One
in a
night,
blind.
we are gonna have a Jack Daniel's black in a blind,
Okay.
and we're gonna have like a Maker's Mark in a blind. Maker's is not bad, by the
No,
way.
we do have makers, and I was wrong on that.
And
one.
then
We
you
do
get
have
into the
makers.
Maker's 46. You get into the 46 cask strength.
I've never had anything.
The
besides-
46 cask strength. Well, they wouldn't put out anything but one product for a very long time. Makers, that's it. That's all we do. We do one thing. We do it well. That's all we're gonna do.
that's all we're gonna do.
Then they did a cask strength, and people were like, "Oh, you need to do more of that." Well, now they've
We need
started
to-
with some experimental woods and stuff, which is another thing. But get the Maker's cask strength, really good. Maker's in itself is really good, especially with a mixer. But anyway, we're gonna do that.
Okay.
We're gonna do some blinds.
Throw some Evan Williams in there, just some.
Evan Williams bottled in bond. I said Knob Creek store picks were the best value in bourbon. That's if you can find a store pick. Best value in bourbon, straight up off the shelf.
Yep.
$15 bottle of Evan Williams bottled in bond.
Green label.
Yep.
No, not
No,
green.
Heaven
It's
Hill.
just
It's-
that's
it.
Heaven
Yeah,
Hill
it's
green
Heaven
label.
Hill,
yeah.
But you got to go to Kentucky to get it.
We tried to get some this week.
I've got Evan Williams green
Yeah.
label. I got a half gallon and another fifth of it if we want to try that. But Evan Williams bottled in bond, the most reliable, tried and true, best value in whiskey.
Yep.
It's won a lot of blinds against and Wild Turkey 101, dude.
The burn.
Yes. I
Wild
love that
Turkey
one.
101 is.
So
Phenomenal.
that was my break into bourbon. So before that, bourbon was like you shoot it 2 ounces, get the little chicken
Point
wing
A to
going.
point B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were
Point A to
smoking
point
meat
B.
one night. He had a bottle of 101. He's like, "You want some bourbon?" I said, "Yeah, I'll try it." This is good.
Holy shit,
This is
yeah.
sweet.
And I think this is the same night we're sitting in my father-in-law's garage. He builds a blowgun. It's
I
dead
did,
of
I
winter,
did.
cold, and I'm guessing 20 feet away. We kept seeing this mouse go past.
Yeah.
He built a blowgun. Shoots a freaking mouse from 20 feet.
Yeah.
And that's when you fell in
Hopped
love.
up on the turkey.
Yeah. I'm like, the bromance started.
Riding the
And
turkey
now
at
we
that
have,
point in
now we
time.
have a pizza joint.
Now we got a pizza joint. Went from shooting dice in the
That
garage
wasn't
to
that night
It
though.
was.
But,
If it wasn't that night, it was the night after.
Wild Turkey 101 is.
It wins so many blind tastings, dude. And I'm
I've-
telling you, I
it's
just
good.
saw Evan Williams
I've got a
bottled
bottle-
in bond beat the Blantons in a freaking blind tasting
I've
last
got
week
an
on
Evan
YouTube,
Williams
like-
bottle out in the Jeep that supposedly has beaten, Blanton's and all
Yeah.
those. And I'm like, well, what the hell?
Why not?
It's
Let's get it and see.
$32. Let's try it. Let's see what the hell it's all about.
And I mean, Blanton's, if you can get it for the price point, it's not bad. It's
If you can
like,
get it for retail.
It's
You can get it for
like-
retail?
Well, I mean, it's what's retail on it? Like 50.
At Walmart,
$60.
it's $53 at
50
Walmart.
$53?
Yeah, and most other places it's in the 70s.
Most other places, the 70s, you'll see it as high. Well, you'll see it up to 200 some places,
Yeah.
but
What?
oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Google it.
For the
I saw
same bottle.
versus
most
200
places online are
for
300
the
to
same
400.
product.
And
53 versus
surprisingly,
200.
the markup on that, like wholesale, it's 40.
We paid 50,
Well, when I
we paid
saw-
50 some dollars for
I
it.
You
thought
paid
no, I thought it was
48.
46
You paid 46 or 48.
$48.
Because when I saw your price, I was like, man, you're paying 48. I get it at Walmart for 53.
Yeah, the markup
you can
on
find
it,
it.
it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the markup is not that bad on it,
No,
unless you get it on these aftermarket deal.
if you get it on the
Where
on
did the hype
second-
come from?
The high. So okay, I can actually attest to this a little bit. So, like I was saying earlier, Blanton's you used to be able to find within 1 or 2 phone calls. If you couldn't find it in your local liquor store, it was there pretty much all the time. My mom's husband always had Blanton's because his last name was Blanton, and there was he was from Kentucky, whole story. But that's where I learned bourbon was Maker's Mark and Blanton's. That's what he always drank, and that's what we always had. And we always had bottles of Blanton's, multiple bottles of Blanton's. It was never hard to find. Fast forward to, I don't know, 15 years later, 20 years later, it was featured on, it wasn't Mad Men because that was set way before Blanton's was around, but
Anthony Bourdain?
no, it was a show kind of like Mad Men. So it was a scripted show. It wasn't like a live show like Bourdain, but it was something Ted Danson was in. I can't remember though. And anyway, he had a bottle of Blanton's there, and it just, I don't know, man. It just, with all this other Buffalo Trace craze that in, like with the antique collection and William LaRue Weller and the Stag and everything else that comes with the whole Buffalo Trace world.
Yep.
Because they've made Blanton's forever. It was just kind of became one of those things where, and you're seeing that now, like what Blanton's was then. It's so hard to get regular Buffalo Trace now. Like there are some states that can't even find regular Buffalo Trace. It's allocated in some states.
I've got one of my best friends lives in North Carolina, and they literally, like, it's allocated one bottle a person, $50 a bottle. I mean, we're talking.
And we pay $23 for
20.
it.
You walk in CVS and you can buy 6 of them for $22 a bottle. And you know, he's like, dude, I'm gonna. And he comes in, he deer hunts with me and stays, and he's like, if you can have some for me when I get there, great. But you know, like in New York or North Carolina, like they can't get that stuff, and it just blows my mind.
And I think North Carolina is a state-regulated state too, which means there are some states, I think there's 17 states in the United States, where the state actually determines, like you have to go to an ABC store. So you have to go, and I think there's 17 states like that in the country, which is actually not a bad thing because they get to pick and choose. If they want to have a lottery, they can have a lottery for these allocated bourbons.
Yeah.
If
Tennessee's, and when you get into it, you can buy cold beer at the gas station.
Yes.
Now, you can't buy cold beer at the gas station in Indiana.
No.
But you can buy cold beer at the gas station, but to buy liquor, you have to go to the liquor store. And in that ABC that, you know,
Virginia's one I know. North Carolina maybe one.
North Carolina is for sure.
Ohio is one, but here's the cool thing: you can log on to Ohio's ABC website, and they have a running inventory, so you can always see, like, you can always see like where the Weller's at, where the this is that, where the that's at. Because now maybe not like the super rare stuff, but like over here you cannot find Weller in any way, shape, or form.
No.
It's super hard. From the antique, from the
special reserve,
from the special reserve to the antique 107, all the way up the fucking the vertical, you just can't find it. But you can log on to their site. You can see a Kroger has. I mean, it's cool because it's state regulated. It's, you know, we operate on a 3-tier system: distributor, wholesale, retail. These other states run on a 2-tier system, essentially. Distributor, retail, and the state is the state's
the retail.
They basically, and so they get to control how they want to give out these allocated products, and it adds a whole other level of transparency to it that you don't get here, where the good old boy system can come into play, where it's like, you know, well, I know Marshall, he can, you know, I'm gonna, and or whatever the case may be,
or even store size. You know, like our local liquor store here struggles to. He's not gotten Buffalo Trace for months just because he can't get it. But you go to one of the bigger chain stores, and
that's all about volume, because it's like
a case of Magnums.
Yes.
What they don't want you to know is this: in order to get some Buffalo Trace allocated product, you have to buy another Sazerac product that nobody gives a shit about, which is this gin that sits over here and nobody buys fuck all of. But you buy 30 cases of that gin, oh well, then we may give you a couple bottles of blend.
You may have a chance to.
But it's all owned by Sazerac. That's the whole deal. It's also, for lack of a better term, political.
And yes.
business driven.
Yes.
It's not
Very
political.
much.
it
We're
is.
experiencing that.
Yep.
It is, and without going any further, yes, it is. So we could not get certain products, and once we got a rep and we got to knowing the rep, now we can get a couple products.
But as a retail establishment like you are, you're not a package store.
Right.
Right.
You're not a
So
package.
you're not going to buy 30 cases of a vodka
No,
to
we're-
get 2 bottles
No.
of bourbon.
we're gonna buy, we're looking for 3 or 4 bottles of that bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if you're a package store, you may say, "Well, hell, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that was a deal. Give me 20 cases of that shitty gin. I'll put it out on the floor for what I've got in it,
Right.
Yeah.
just to be able to get the better bottles of."
Just be able to get
Bourbon
the bottles of
coming.
I
bourbon.
can
Right.
mark it up. Yeah.
So
So,
it's I know political's not maybe the right. I mean, I know it's business driven, but it's political in a sense. Like
It
you're
is.
playing politics with the
with the
distributor.
distributor.
100%.
They
That's
wanna
that
make
second
sure,
tier.
They want to make sure that not just one of their products gets sold through the line, all the products
yeah.
get sold. So you're right. I mean, they make you take product A, B, and C to have the opportunity to get product.
And you can sell the shitty gin in your liquor store for
Sure.
what you have in it because they're still getting the same amount. They don't care
They don't
beyond
care.
that.
But we can't.
Yeah, but that's
But
my
you
point
guys
is you
can't.
can't.
Right.
You
guys-
can't do that.
Right.
We're not
Yeah.
going to move.
You can't
No.
you can't have a station of
We can't.
cases of gin when you walk in the
Yeah.
door that like
$9.99 a bottle.
Buy
Right.
3 pizzas, you get a bottle of beer.
You're
Please
right.
There you
take
go.
it.
Please take it. Make it go away.
Yeah. We got 3 bottles of some semi-allocated bourbon for buying these 40 cases. Yeah. Totally. That was my point. Is you're
Yes.
2 totally different animals, but
Sure.
That's all I got for tonight.
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
we got
Oh,
into
we got
we went
way
down
off
a
on a
wormhole.
tangent.
We went a whole lot deeper than Smooth Ambler, so
Down into the
sorry.
rabbit
We
hole.
apologize.
And we can
but
edit it. We may edit it down.
We
I,
probably won't.
I doubt
Probably
it. We'll
won't.
put it out there straight.
Raw dog.
We'll
So,
raw
there you
dog it.
go.
We'll give you the raw
We'll
dog.
give you the raw dog.
So next week we're going to be talking about contradiction.
And
first.
Contradiction Rye.
Contradiction.
Rye.
And might throw in that bottle of
Honey
107
barrel.
next year.
If you guys want that next week, or if we want to do it the week after, it doesn't matter to me. But I have the
Let's
107.
do it the week after. Next week we'll do the Contradiction Rye, and then which will give us kind of a straight bourbon versus a rye, and we'll go from there. Which I mean, a straight bourbon could be a rye, but they don't have to classify it as.
Honestly, it may not be a bad deal to do if you want to bring them all back out. But the first thing we do is the Old Scout versus the Old Scout 107.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Just to see.
So
That's all I got.
as a wrap up,
Marshall, he's got 3 bottles of bourbon.
yes.
Next week we're hoping he's going to get the 4th.
I'll have a 4th. Y'all, I'm going to have a limit in 2 weeks. So just count me in.
He said it, hell or high water.
Hell or high water, I'll be
So in
here.
2 weeks,
He'll be
Luke's gonna
calling
shock
small
him.
fish for
We're
the
gonna
big
That's right.
fish next
pull
week.
apart.
I'll say, can we change out like the old granddad for some Blantons? Or,
There's actually a
There-
Blanton's
there's
a
bottle.
Blanton's bottle?
We have a
Yeah.
Blanton's bottle. It's just
It-
not
it's
Is
on.
that
coming.
like the grand finale? Like when I get
That's-
my 5th
Yeah,
keeper,
that's a grand
I
poopah.
get to stand there and hold my Blanton's bottle like that.
I just told our guys to pick out some nice photos of bourbon.
I'm glad they got Old Forester on there, so
The,
that makes me happy.
The Blanton's
right.
covers the
Only
only
right.
fins up.
The only fins, yeah. I mean, that is hashtag only fins. So
Anyhow, love you guys. Thanks for watching us. Come
Fingers.
see us?
Get the
Yeah,
fingers out.
absolutely.
fingers.
So Speakeasy fingers. Yep. Well.